is like a big sinkhole. Right here in Tchula, Mississippi, the struggle is real. It's not a joke, it's real.
I have always known that there are two Americas. This one of entrenched poverty, of lost opportunity, and of deep disillusionment. And the other America, of extraordinary wealth. A world of mansions and luxury. A new gilded age.
When I look at the wealth gap, it's not even believable.
That wealth gap has become so wide that even those who have achieved the American dream are losing faith in this country. America's economy has long been one of the wonders of the world, lifting tens of millions of people into the middle class. But something has gone wrong. I sense it and see it all across America. Homelessness and poverty rising, while the rich are getting richer. It's fueling the anguish and populism already on the 2020 campaign trail. I've come here to the Mississippi Delta, one of the most impoverished parts of America, to understand why inequality is rising and threatening America from within. This is the community of Tchula, Mississippi, or as it's sometimes called, the poorest town in the poorest state in America. There is economic activity to be seen here, but it whistles past, and the trains never stop. Tchula is a town without jobs, where 60% of the residents live below the poverty line. Even the mayor does not try and hide the reality.
No one's been exposed to soccer here, you know.
So no gymnasium?
Yeah, no gymnasium.
No soccer field?
No soccer field, yeah.
No swimming pool?
No swimming pool.
No cinema?
No cinema.
No theater?
No theater, exactly, yes. The kids here, you know, are lacking, you know, opportunity. So that's, you know, that's frustrating. You want better for everyone.
That lack of opportunity is crushing. There is not even the public transport to reach jobs in other towns. Hi, Kenyatta, how are you? My name is Robert. Kenyatta is a single mother of 3. But like tens of millions of Americans, she is caught in a poverty trap. She puts her faith in God, not government.
Sometimes I get angry, but then I think about it. God wouldn't bring you to nothing that he couldn't get you through. With prayer, he'll bring you through. All you have to do is sit there and be patient.
Kenyatta has a fierce ambition for her children to do better than she has. So having risen at 4:30 in the morning and juggling 2 jobs, she is now ensuring evening homework is done. But the local school is failing, and she has concluded her only option is to leave Tchula.
Been here 33 years. I need to leave. I want better. I need better. My kids need it. It's not about me. It's about those 3 kids.
Their future is not here.
No. Not here. There is no future in Tchula.
Poverty impacts all races in America, but here in the Deep South, with its poisonous legacy of slavery and discrimination, African Americans bear a disproportionate burden. The richest 400 Americans own more wealth than all the country's black households combined. And that is despite what the president calls a roaring economy.
Since taking office 2 years ago, our economy is now the hottest economy anywhere on earth.
Why is it that America, the world's economic powerhouse, cannot lift up communities like this? Is moving across the country the only option?
The American dream is, of course, a multifaceted concept that...
Dr. Raj Chetty is one of the most celebrated economists of his generation. A brilliant Harvard social scientist, he has made a groundbreaking study of what he calls the fading American dream. He has discovered that while previous generations were almost guaranteed to earn more than their parents, that is no longer the case.
It's only a 50-50 shot as to whether you're going to achieve the American dream of doing better than your parents.
That's pretty startling.
That's very startling, a dramatic change from virtually everyone doing better than their parents a couple generations ago to now it's a coin flip as to whether you're going to be doing better than your parents. And I think that's what drives a lot of the frustration that people around America are expressing. And I think opportunity is really the core of the American fabric. It's what drew my own parents to come to the United States, the search for the American dream, the idea that this is a country where even if you don't have a lot now, through hard work you can get ahead. And I think people increasingly feel, and correctly so given the data that we see, that that's no longer the case.
New figures reveal the greatest income inequality in living memory. The top 1% of Americans hold $34 trillion in wealth. Washington, D.C. is surrounded by some of the most affluent suburbs in America, home to politicians and an army of mainly white consultants, lobbyists, and lawyers. This is one of the most affluent neighborhoods in all of America. Jeff Bezos, the richest man in the world, owns the home next door. It is the same country, but it feels like a different universe to the grinding poverty we saw in Mississippi. So what do the 1% make of the state of America? After all, they are the great beneficiaries of the system. I drive out to meet Linda Erkelishan, a wealthy philanthropist who owns 4 homes and runs a modeling and makeup agency. She says she has worked hard for her success, but agrees that America cannot thrive with this level of inequality.
There's never been a time that I haven't been grateful and appreciative of what I have, but I also know that I'm not my best self knowing that there's somebody hungry, that there's somebody that doesn't have a home. I mean, that brings tears to my eyes when I think about that, because how do we live our extravagant lives, if you will, and know that there are people that are hungry, that children are asking their teachers for food because they haven't had breakfast, and maybe that's the only meal they have? How do we live with ourselves knowing that 500,000 people are homeless?
Back in Tchula, many have accepted that outside help will never arrive. So Calvin, a local farmer, has set up a work scheme to give the unemployed and the impoverished young men here something to do. He is putting them back into the fields picking crops, trying to reverse history and mechanization.
It's a big divide, and I don't think it's gonna change. I don't think people are gonna get richer and people are gonna get poor, but we gotta stop, even in Holmes County, in Tchula, Mississippi, singing the blues about how poor we are, and we gotta figure out ways to get ourselves out, because nobody's gonna do it. I mean, I know automation is taking its toll, and we gotta have big machinery, but there are people who need to work, and there are some things you could do by hand,
So you are creating, kind of recreating, if you like, kind of a manual agricultural environment here.
That's the intent.
But others believe that solutions can be imposed from the top, and greater equality is now at the center of a national political debate.
Today, in the richest country in the history of the world, tens of millions of people are struggling to get by.
Leading contenders for the Democratic nomination are proposing radical measures like a wealth tax on the richest Americans.
We are going to transform this country.
Meanwhile, the Trump administration continues to say that workers are thriving, that unemployment has hit record lows, and that wages are rising. For Kenyatta, politicians feel a world away. She is losing faith in America.
I may walk around with a smile, but deep down inside, I'm hurt.
Beyond the big political drama of the Trump years, the growing inequality is the untold story of this moment in America. This is a country where the playing field has become increasingly tilted in favor of the rich, and where opportunity often depends not on your abilities, but on where you were born. The exact opposite of the vaunted American dream.